Hey, what's up, everyone? Gerardo here. Hope all is well. We are starting our webinar, Home Buying in 2023. What? What do you need to know now? All right, let's get this show on the road. We have a few participants. This is going to be on YouTube as well, so it's going to be recorded. And if you didn't make it, you check it out there. So what do you need to know now? I'm going to go through exactly what I promised in the event page on Facebook. And we are going to go through the current real estate market. And let me just jump in and give you the current state of then. Then is a year ago. So then it was highest and best offers. If you submitted an offer and you went low, you didn't win anything. You didn't get anything. You just wasted your time. It was multiple offers on a lot of homes and they went above price. All right, got to keep that in mind right now. You were paying over the list price. So one of my jobs when I was representing buyers in 2020, 2021 is, and I still do this, I got to call the agent and find out, hey, how many offers do you have, if any? What is going on and how can I help you out, etc. So we were paying over the list price. It was a common thing. If you offered anything at the list price, it was still too low and you were going to lose. I saw some homes in desirable areas that were going 20, 30, almost 50,000 over asking price. And that's in Chicago. I've heard in other markets going, 100K. It's crazy. It was ridiculous. It was the wild, wild west. Why did that happen? Well, the rate was lower. A lower rate, boom, caused a lot of demand, and the increase of the price was because inventory was low. It's always, if something goes up, something's going to go down. Maybe I didn't do my hand gestures right, but it's always the case. If something goes down, something's going to go up. If inventory was low, prices was going to go up because there was a lot of demand and people were competing for those homes. So how is it now? No more highest and best. Woo! Yeah. No more multiple offers and no more paying over list price. The time has now changed. On the cons, that's the pro, all right? There's always a pro, and we got to listen to the cons as well. I'm not just giving you pretty pictures, this and that. You're getting the full effect, good or bad, whether you like it or not. It is my job to interpret the data and make sure you have all angles. Right now, the rate is much higher, all right? I got a couple slides comparing both rates from then and now, but it's much higher. Keep that in mind right now. Much higher. Inventory is still low, okay? Just because we're in a different market, inventory is still low, okay? But, whoa, drum roll, please. But now we can get the seller to pay your buyer closing costs, all right? We can negotiate that. Seller, boom, pay me my closing costs on an average, all right? Because not a lot of people like to say this. And when I always have someone in my office, did your lender talk to you about closing costs? They look at me like, huh, what? No, they didn't. Okay, then that's my job. Either way, I go over closing costs. And lenders, I don't know why you do this, why you never talk about closing costs. You only talk about down payment and the monthly, but you never talk about closing costs. Everybody that comes into my chair and we talk, and I ask them, all right, you got the down payment, awesome. What about the closing costs? What are we going to do there? And when it was in the other market, the highest and best in this, you aren't getting closing costs. You ain't getting no closing costs. Let me tell you that, all right? No closing costs. If you ask for closing costs, you're probably still renting right now. If you kept continually asking for closing costs, you're probably still renting, or you got into a lucky situation, which is great. But now we could get you closing costs. I could negotiate those, and I can negotiate a better price, or we can negotiate a better price and some closing costs. So to give you a general amount of closing costs is going to be on average 3 to 4%. All right, of the purchase price. So if you're buying a house for $200,000, it's going to be about 3 to 4% of the purchase price, plus your down payment, and then plus any other fees that you got to incur during the real estate process. I'll go over some of those. Let's see. Let me see if anyone jumped in. Okay, no one jumped in. It's all good. This is going to go on YouTube, all right? For all those people I missed it, boom, you're going to be on YouTube. So FHA allows you to ask the seller, yo, seller, boom, give me 3%. I'm going to negotiate that. All right. On FHA, you could actually go up to 6%. My bad, 6%. All right. You could ask for a little bit more. Can you and will you overchew? Well, yeah, you know what? But if you don't need that money, we just ask for what we need, okay? Don't ask for too much, because I'm always a firm believer that you could always scare them away. They could always say no. So it's a negotiating factor. So in the contract, I don't put 3% because people are scared of percentages for some reason. You can't do them in your head quick enough. You need a calculator, and you all of a sudden think 3% is too much money. All right. So we put that down in a figure, in an amount. All right. So $6,000 we would put down in a $200,000 deal. All right. And that will cover your closing costs. You save money. You don't have to bring that to the closing table. That's instant savings. Negotiate a way better price. Listen, let me tell you something. For every $10,000 that you negotiate down, you're only saving a couple bucks, $5 at the most. All right. So get your closing costs, because you're instantly saving that 6 G's. Yes, I know you're financing the property. So you got to make a decision. Do I want my money now and save on my closing costs, or do I want to save that $5 exponentially, within the entire mortgage life of the loan? All right. So to me, get the money now. Later on, if rates drop, you could also refinance. So get the money now. Keep that closing cost. Keep those monies that you saved, and maybe have a cushion. Maybe you'll need it to go to Home Depot, because I know when you buy a home, you're constantly going to Home Depot, Menards, etc. So what to look for right now if you're browsing, boom, on Redfin, Zillow, I don't care where you're browsing, look at homes that have price changes. All right, what are you going to look at? What? Huh? You're going to look at homes with price changes. That's what you're going to look for. All right, you're going to look for homes that have just sat and chilled on the market with no activity, with the only activity probably being a price change. We're going to look at homes that have sat on the market for more than 40 days. All right, last year in 2021 and 2022, homes only sat for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. All right. There was no 40 days. If a property was on the market for 40 days, something ridiculous was crazy wrong with it. All right. Now they're sitting on the market for a lot longer. Why? I mean, it's because the interest rate went up. But when we break down the numbers of then and now, I could do that for you. I could give you an analysis of the numbers of then, and maybe comparing how much you would pay. You would probably overpay over the list price. The rate was lower. That's true. But we could give you a number here, and we could give you a number now where you're basically going down in list price, getting some closing costs, and yeah, the rate's a little bit higher. But let's compare the numbers. See, if you don't compare and you don't run this with your mortgage lender, even if you just do this on your own with a mortgage calculator, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? All right. So do yourself a favor, talk to someone, compare the numbers, do a quick analysis, and then you can make decisions. You can't make decisions based on not knowing anything. You can't make decisions based on, oh, my aunt told me, or my friend told me, or the national news told me. That's BS. National news is just national news. Real estate is micro. It's to the block. All right. I'm in Berwyn, and I know that in South Berwyn and North Berwyn, it's two different markets, two different areas, two different type of properties, taxing systems. So if you're going to listen to woo and woo and who and who, good luck. All right, just good luck. But get yourself a realtor, get yourself a mortgage person, get somebody that cares. All right, that's the number one thing. Get somebody that cares about you, and get someone that's going to answer your questions, and get someone who's going to ask you more questions, because that's how we start conversations. All right. So again, if you're scrolling along on Redfin, Zillow, I don't know, there's so many apps, look for price changes. That's going to be a good thing. And look for properties that sat on the market for a little bit longer in time, more than 40 days. So that's the current real estate market. That's been the market in the last year. It's been freaking nuts. It's been crazy. It went from highest and best to people kind of scratching their heads, because the rate was here, and now the rate went over here, and then prices dropped, and then it just all over the place. All right. But you don't want to be this guy. You don't want to stay around, because that's what people think the real estate market is right now. All right. I'm here to tell you, yeah, it was like that, but let me interpret it. Let's interpret it together. Okay. So just wanted to break the little pattern. I love this meme. It's an awesome meme. You use it for so many things. All right. An overview of the rate. All right. Another thing I promised on my on the event page in Facebook. All right. Give me a second. All right. So Freddie Mac is a government agency. The report on interest rates, it's a valid agency. If you want the link to this, just message me. If not, just use Google Freddie Mac and mortgage. You get it. They update it every Thursday. Again, the interest rate is a market, and the interest rate fluctuates daily. It might fluctuate just a little bit. All right. And within time, it might move, so on. All right. But this last year to this year went crazy. The feds were saying, yo, we got to increase the rate to pause down on the economy because inflation, and they're still trying to combat inflation. I think they're doing better. At one point we peaked at 7%, and that is that peak right now, right there, right here. When we, last year around this time, the rate was 3.2%. 3.2%. That is amazing. Will we get to that point again? I don't know. I don't have a magic 8 ball. I'm not going to make up a story. I don't know. All right. It's averaged throughout the lifespan. I think he started collecting data since 1970. Throughout that lifespan, it's been about hovering over about, 5.5, 6, maybe 6.5. That's been the average. The only difference is right now is the inflation rate. It's, things are high. I went to the grocery store. Things are costing more. Gas is actually going down, so that's good. So when you do watch news, keep in mind and listen to the inflation rate. That's good news for you to know. Okay, going back last year, December 16th. I know we're in December 17th now, but it's still that amount. Still a good time. It was at 3.12. All right. Great times, great rates. But with great stuff comes also cons. We already talked about it. Multiple offers, highest and best. Woo, 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 woo. All right. So remember that image of how's the market? That was a representation right here. That was the representation. All right. So in that terms, the market went up, in 1 year, all the way to close to 7, and now it's down to 6.31. Amazing. That's great. 6.31, a lot better than 7. 7, I was even like, damn, my goodness, 7%. Is it going to go to 8? Jeez. All right. It didn't go to 8. It kind of curved. I think the feds did what they needed to do. But you could see it was a roller coaster. Well, will that ever go down? Time will tell. I don't know. I don't have a magic 8 ball. I'm not here to BS you as well. I'm just here to interpret what we know, historical data. So now you have it. Jump on to the next slide. Another thing that I promised, what do you need now to get pre-approved? So when you go to the bank, you go to a mortgage lender, a mortgage banker, they're going to ask you for docs. They're going to ask you for your W-2s. So make sure you have those. 2 years worth of tax returns. If you don't have your taxes, you didn't do your taxes, you're not going to get any money. No one's going to lend you anything. Pay stubs. If you're not working for more than 2 years consistently, maybe the same field. If you switched over, you know, if you're a teacher at one school, then went over to another school, that's the same thing. But if you're a teacher and then you're now a carpenter, the bank's gonna be like, what the, you know, you're going to be a carpenter, you need to do that for 2 more years. So you're going to need pay stubs for 2 months, consistent employment, all your bank statements. Don't come in with no bank statements. You know, how could you prove that you have money? Everybody says, oh, I got this and this and that. No, bank needs proofs, or else you're going to get pre-approved. And credit check. All right, you got to do a credit check. If you know your credit's not 580 or up, I still recommend you do the credit check. You run your credit, get the credit report so you can work on it. You don't know, right? If you don't know that your score is 580 or less than that, you can't do anything about it. All right, I recommend 640 because at 580, what the bank is going to do, they're going to jack up your interest rate. You're going to end up paying more. You know, if it's something that you got to do because of a change in life situation, then you got to do it, right? 580 is with a higher interest rate. But my recommendation is you take the time, meet with somebody, meet with the mortgage lender. They'll let you know, pay this, pay that, and come back with me, in 2 or 3 months, etc. If your score is super low, then go see a counselor, credit counselor that could help you out. Some will probably charge you. Do your research. Go to YouTube. Tons of videos that will educate you. I'm big on doing research. It's crazy. Wait a minute. Hold them up. It's crazy how much people do research on dumb, like researching on iPhone, for God's sakes. You know how many people do research on electronics and products that bring you no value? And yet when you want to buy a home, you do no research. What the F? Why? But if you're watching and you're doing your research now, boom, props to you. All right, props to you, because this stuff can be boring. I ain't gonna lie. I try to make this as exciting as possible, but it's boring. It's financial stuff. It's digging into your own finances. It could be depressing if you're not organized. But you know what? In order to change, you got to admit where you're at now and then make the change, make a difference, make the habit. So if you're not budgeting right now, create a budget. If you don't know how much your bills are a month, know how much they are a month, because what do you think buying a home is going to happen? If you buy a home, you're going to have to be super penny saver. You're going to have to be, knowing how much is this, how much is that. You're going to have more expenses. So it's great if you have a budget now. It's great if you're budgeting. Do all that stuff. It's going to be good for you. It's not going to be bad. All right. Sorry if I'm giving you a little bit of tough love, but that's just how I work. Love you guys. But if you are going through this and the real sincere, if you got a great lender, if you got a great realtor, awesome, props to you. Keep those people in your team. They're going to go and bat for you. Okay. The good ones are. All right. The ones that just have commission breath, man, I can't stand you guys. You just look for the next deal and the next deal. You don't take care of your clients. All right. I ain't going to go too much in there. It's all about customer service. All right. So again, W-2s, tax returns, pay stubs, all bank docs. If you have savings, checkings, they're going to want to know that. Each bank will ask if if you have investments, etc. And of course, your credit check. If you're at 580, keep working, keep building. If you're at 640, boom, I think you're good. All right. Another thing I promise, I don't want to go too much into it. I have another video on this that you can watch. I have a website that it's very interactive. You could check all the process. And I'm not going to go too much into it, okay? But I will go and let you know that I do know and I understand the 16 steps of buying a home. Number one is you got to meet with somebody. Again, what you don't know, and you got to know. Number two, listen, if you're not pre-approved, you ain't going to see no homes. You know where you're going to see homes? Online. You see all the homes online. Just imagine you being the seller. You're the seller and somebody wants to come into your house. It's winter, and you're not pre-approved. Nah, man, I ain't letting you. Nope, you ain't seen that property. And you know what? Most realtors won't show you the property. Why? Because you're window shopping. All right, imagine going to the grocery store. You're checking out, and the lady says, it's $150. Well, nowadays, probably $250. $250. How are you going to pay? And you're like, no, I forgot my wallet. I don't know. You ain't going to walk out with no groceries. Same thing over here. You ain't going to walk out with no home. Get pre-approved. Know how much. All right? Once you're pre-approved, we go see homes. We're going to identify that one property. I got a system. I got a process. I have questions that I ask. You make the decisions, not me. You make the decisions. I ask a series of questions so you could decide. And then I also communicate with your lender so they could run the numbers. So you can know how much you're going to pay. One, we don't miss anything. Two, you don't overpay. Very, very simple. All right. Then we're going to help you negotiate and we're going to help you write that contract. Very easy stuff. We do it on DocuSign. For those people that don't have DocuSign, maybe they don't do too much email, etc., paperless. Don't worry, got an office, we meet. It's all good. After a showing, I got a contract ready. No worries. Everything's there. But if you leverage DocuSign, easy, boom. I got a video explaining you the contract. This way you don't go into it blindly. You explain everything. A contract's about 13 pages. It's an offer contract. So you got to formally give your offer. You don't just say, hey, I want to make an offer, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there's my agent. He's going to let you know. No, it's BS. Everything's paper here. All right. We're going to start negotiating. You start negotiating with that offer. And then you counter. There's going to counter. You think the seller's going to accept what you offer? No, it's a little game. It's a little game of tennis. Over here, over there, over here, over there. I'm going to help you. That's my job. It's my most important job is to find the home and negotiate the price. Again, if it's on the market for if it's on the market for more than 45 days, you're going to ask for some closing costs. We're going to work with your lender to see how much you need so we don't overchew. Maybe you might ask for a little bit more because they might not give all of it, but we're going to do our try. And then we go a little bit of counters. I've encountered that most counters take about 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds of going back and forth. And then they're going to accept your offer. Or they're going to decline it. One of those things is going to happen. They accept your offer, we continue. If they decline, we go back and visit homes. So you don't want to waste your time. You only want to go see those homes that you like. All right. We always rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. We go see 7, 8, 9s. And I don't believe that there's a perfect 10. Okay. If there is a perfect 10, you probably built it yourself. And even then, you probably forgot a couple things. All right. So after the, whoa. Let me go back. If you got a pen right now, that was a good time. When we write an offer, we make a commitment that we're going to give $1,000 earnest money. All right. Earnest money is a key word right here. Write that down too. About $1,000, a promise. Once they accept, we'll give that in 2 to 3 business days. Okay. So it's an out-of-pocket expense. So once they accept your offer in 2 to 3 business days, we give them a G, $1,000. It's part of your transaction. So if you got to go to closing with 10,000, you're already gave 1,000, then you got to bring the balance 9,000. All right. You're going to do an inspection on that property. You got 5 days to do the inspection. All right. Don't procrastinate. Don't do it on the 5th day. You'll have to do an extension. They're not going to like that. Nobody's going to like that. On the first day, make calls to inspectors. I got a list. Google them too. And then you call and you schedule it for the 2nd and 3rd day. Give yourself some time. The inspection, you're going to be there, right? If you're not there, have someone else be there on your behalf, but you got to be there. All right. Is this as important to you? Is this important to you? Then you got to be there, because the answer is yes. Yes, it's important to you. You got to be there. All right. I'm there, so you got to be there. So the inspection takes about 2 to 3 hours, depending on the type of property or type of building or whatever you're buying. All right. And the inspector is going to give you a report, 24 hours. You're going to review that. And you're going to, if the property sold as is, you can't negotiate further. If it's not sold as is, then absolutely you got the right to request any type of credits, again, and more credits, or any type of repairs. Once you finalize that, because you don't go forward, you got to finalize that. It's like another contract that we got to do with the seller. After we're done with that, everything's official. You do the appraisal. The bank wants to know if you're buying that property for $300,000. You know what? It better be worth $300,000, because it's worth $280. I'm only going to give you $280, and you got to come up with the rest, or you're going to cancel the deal. All right. But right after the appraisal gets a little bit smoother, you got to give paperwork. The bank's probably going to ask you the same paperwork or updated paperwork. You're probably going to call me, hey, why does the bank need the same things that I already gave them? Well, because the bank wants to know that if you're still working, all right? The bank wants to know that you still have money, that you didn't buy a car, etc. All right? Come on now. All right? The bank is going to do their due diligence up front, and they're going to do it at the end. All right. Wouldn't you, if you're, lending money, if you lend money to somebody, you want to make sure that they have their ducks in a row. So does the bank. All right. Nothing normal. So closing, it'll get scheduled one day prior to closing. Let's say closing's December 31st. We're going to go December 30th to walk the property, make sure if we said, hey, we want the appliances, we want the fridge, all that good stuff, that it's still there, that it didn't damage the property, all that stuff. We're going to make sure that when we saw it originally, it's still there. And if they didn't move their junk, if they didn't move out, there's going to be some issues. We're going to get on the phone. We're going to call your attorney. We're going to let them know they still have garbage. They left things. Hopefully it's not that case. It's not that case, but just giving you a little bit of extreme right there, or some examples. But for the most part, we're communicating with the agent, schedules closed for this, or, when can we do the walkthrough? They'll be gone by so-and-so, you come this time. So it's really good stuff. I love my job. I love helping people, and I'm very passionate about this. When I first started doing videos, I was just a little bit too dry, just a little bit too formal. Then you're going to go to this step. I got to put a little emphasis, put a little jazz into it. So once your final walkthrough is done, you go to closing, you get the keys, and you take possession, you celebrate, and you become a homeowner. All right. This stuff may look easy. It's not. It's stressful. This is somebody's biggest purchase. I take it very serious. I remember when I did my purchase, I was lost, but I'm just a savvy, resourcey type of guy. I did so many things. I had so many questions. I had a great realtor. I was at a previous job, but great stuff. They helped me out. She was a friend. So she looked after me, and I look after my clients. I continuously check in with them, because we're in this process. It takes a good 3 to 4 weeks to find a home. And then, you make an offer, and hopefully you get it the first time. If you lose the offer, it gets a little emotional. I'm there as a safety net, as a sounding board. But yeah, I really care. So I want you to know, how this is done. This is important. It's one of the biggest transactions. Even if you already purchased, maybe years ago, maybe you forgot how it was, because when you buy and you go through it and then you get your keys, you forget about this stuff. All right. This stuff's done. You're going to be concentrating on where the TV goes, Now you could buy the couches. Now you could buy a car if you want to. That's going to be the good stuff. And I'm going to be following up with you. How are things? How are the neighbors? Happy house anniversary, sending you a gift for that, a closing gift and all that. This is fun stuff. I really enjoy it. Thank you for your time. I do get animated. I do get a little bit loud, but hopefully you can see that I really care about this. I really care about you buying a house when you're ready. There's a lot of changes going on. Most people buy a house because there's a change in their life. Maybe they got married, maybe they're downgrading, maybe a kid or two went to college, maybe you had a baby, maybe you had twins, and now you need 4 bedrooms instead of 3. So awesome stuff. Love learning about my clients. Thank you very much. With sincere happy holidays. It's December 17th right now. Happy holidays, happy new year 2023. Get those goals, and if you ever need anything, let me know. I am here for you. Big hug, virtual hug to everyone, and a round of applause if you watched it till here. Take care. Thank you very much.